Right there.
White belly up.
This is the game. It's cat and mouse.
Smoked a turkey. Yes. He is down. He is freaking down.
Said he shot an absolute giant. Full obsession, baby.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Nick Powell here, Media Production Manager with Fall Obsession. I will be your host on this today. I am joined by our very own CEO, Sam Thrash. Sam,
what's up, everybody? I am back again.
He's back again.
You can't get rid of me.
I've tried. It's hard.
We are doing in-person podcast, Nick.
Yes, once again, we are finally in person. So the sound quality is top-notch right now.
Top-notch.
So today, our podcast is not going to have a specific topic. We are just going to kind of, for those of you who have never heard of Fall Obsession, this one's for you, because we're just going to kind of tell you where you need to go, tell you what you need to look at, what's new, what's old, what...
We're going to give you the rundown.
Yes, the rundown.
And this is, I know we've done episodes in the past, guys, and we'll reference them in this podcast, but we've done episodes in the past where we talk about like how Fall Obsession got started, how we've grown, all that kind of stuff. We're not diving back into the past a whole lot here today.
Right.
We're talking about right here and now, what's hot, what we're working on, and kind of what to expect from us in the future. And you're also going to get to listen to Nick and I enjoy each other's company doing an in-person podcast.
Yeah, we've been on the phone for so long, it seems like, for a whole month, because June was insane.
It was crazy, man, and it was good, I think. Now, granted, as I've mentioned in previous podcasts, in our off-season series, how much I enjoy recording in-person podcasts, being able to look at your face, look at whoever I'm talking to, and be able to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Doing them over the phone the past several weeks has brought a whole lot of variety to our podcast with all sorts of different guests and first-time appearances on the show. So, and I'm sure we'll kind of give you guys a recap on some of those people that we've had on there recently. But yeah, I'm excited for today. This is going to be a fun episode.
Oh yeah, I was thinking also, I think the rundown is an excellent name for this podcast.
The rundown. Yeah. All right. The media production manager just came up with the name. So
sounds great. You came up with it. I just coined it. Or you coined it and I made it. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
So guys, one thing that we will remain consistent with for this episode is our partners in corporate sponsorship capacities. We got to give a quick shout out to our buddies over at Elite Archery. And again, we're transparent with this podcast, and we're honest, hardworking guys. So we'll be honest with you guys. We're sitting right now at Cinnamon Creek Archery recording this podcast. We'll give another shout out to them, but we're about to get you set up with an Elite bow today,
Nick.
Dude,
I could not be more excited. I'm ready to get these podcasts out of the way. Even though I do love podcasting, I'm ready to get them out of the way. That way we can get me set up on that.
So
ritual.
If Nick is talking fast during this podcast, it's because he's trying to get done as fast as possible, because he's got a bow sitting right over there within eyesight that he's ready to get his stuff on and start shooting.
Like we mentioned earlier, June was a crazy month. I've been waiting to get my hands on this bow since before that month. And so I've been eagerly waiting for this day. And because I sold my old bow 3 months ago or something like that. So I've been without a bow for 3 or 4 months.
We got to get you set up because
ready.
We got Montana coming up, and you got to you got to be ready for that.
I'm pretty stoked for that draw coming up August 5th too. It couldn't come fast enough.
So trying to stay on topic.
No, this one didn't have a topic.
This one didn't have a topic. Yeah. We can do whatever we want. So this podcast is brought to you guys by Elite Archery.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, if you guys have not shot an Elite bow yet, please go give it a try, man. You're gonna love it. Majority of our staff this year is shooting Elite, whether it's the new Cure or a previous year's model. You can't go wrong. So go to your local dealer, check them out, see what they're all about, compare them to other bows, take the Elite Shootability Challenge, and see if it's right for you. And also, you can check them out online, elitearchery.com. You can even order your bow online, whether it's the customize it and order it, whether it's the new Cure, the new Ember, and a variety of accessories. You can go check them out at elitearchery.com. And I cannot, like I mentioned earlier, not give a shout out to Cinnamon Creek, because right now, like I said, we're sitting once again at Cinnamon Creek Archery recording this podcast. Kyle and the guys up here are great friends and great partners for us. We can't thank them enough for all that the bow shop here has done for us, and on top of everything, letting us use their facilities to record. So
yeah, similar to the sound quality of our in-person podcast, they are top notch.
Top notch. So if you guys are in the North Texas area, passing through, or whether you live around here, come to Cinnamon Creek Archery in Roanoke, just north of Fort Worth, and check them out. You will be impressed. They can help you with anything archery that you need. They got way more than archery too. Wild game processor, event center. They're doing a kids camp right now, which is great for parents that got their kids stuck at home with them. So
thanks a lot,
yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, so check them out. See what Cinnamon Creek's all about as well. So,
well, Sam, what kind of stuff for someone who's never heard of Fall Obsession? They're just now checking us out. What kind of things can they look at?
Well,
where can they go?
I think a good thing to dive into to start would be this podcast.
Yeah,
because this is something that we started back in March, and we're 20 weeks in now, buddy.
I know.
We are.
I thought about that this morning driving in. I was like, holy cow, this will be over 20 podcasts. We have 20 podcasts that we've done.
Yeah. At the time we're recording this episode, just yesterday we put out our 20th episode. We've been putting them out every single week, which has been awesome. And we're not going to lie, it hadn't been easy to make this all happen. And we'll be flat out honest with you. There was a stretch not that long ago where it looked like we were going to have to change our schedule and go to every other week.
Yeah.
Because we just, like Nick said, June's been busy, and it's been crazy trying to dish these things out consistently. It was like we had a day, and it was like, dude, we do not have an episode for next Monday. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, maybe we just need to switch our schedule. And we were discussing that a little bit. Then by the end of that day, we had like 3 podcasts recorded and lined up.
Yeah.
Like it worked out. I know you and I knocked out over the phone.
Yep.
And I had reached out to Drew to see if he wanted to do the backcountry camp episode.
Yeah.
And
which is the 20th episode. If y'all haven't checked it out.
episode.
Just came out Monday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Well, at the time of recording, yeah. But episode 20, it's a good one. So and I'll dive into kind of recapping some of our highlighted podcast episodes right there. So we had our marketing manager Drew Tordick on the podcast, and he's a big into elk hunting up in Montana. He does it all himself. He went with an outfitter and a guide at first, but he's since gotten to 100% do it yourself, backcountry camping, hunting, all that kind of stuff. So episode 16 is us sitting down with Drew and talking about the elk hunting, and then episode 20 is kind of following up to that, talking about the camping side of it and everything that went into planning a trip like that. So those are great episodes if you're into that western backcountry hunting, elk hunting, do it yourself, even mule deer. It's applicable to that as well. So
yeah, and if you haven't ever done one of those western hunts, those are great podcasts to go listen to get an idea of the kind of gear you need, what you need to expect, what kind of tags you need, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
They covered a bunch.
Yeah, Drew talked about a lot in that episode, and it was really helpful in so many ways. Some other podcasts that I'm going to highlight, and I'll give you a little backstory first. So a few weeks ago, we had Brittany Gaither on for an episode called Just a Lady with a Bow. Very down-to-earth gal who is newer to the archery world, but she has come leaps and bounds in a very short period of time, and very humble about her journey. And it's just an awesome story, and it's awesome to follow her on social media and to watch her progress as she grows in archery. But we had her on the podcast. That podcast episode in 1 week became the second most downloaded podcast episode we've ever had of all time.
Yeah, that's impressive.
In 1 week. So we posted that. We mentioned that to everybody, and it very quickly we started getting questions about that, and okay, what's number 1? What's number 2? What's number 3? That kind of stuff.
Listeners are dying to know.
Yeah, so I figured I'd give you guys, if you're new to the Fall Obsession podcast and you want to just start by checking out some episodes that are highlighted, if you will, that are more popular, I was going to give you guys kind of a rundown on those right there. Nick's over here cheering me on for using that term. So the most downloaded podcast episode on Fall Obsession podcast is episode number 1. Episode number 1, the
Where it all
flagship
started.
episode. Montana Pronghorn. Chester Barnes and I and myself recapped our 2019 Montana Antelope hunt. It was I guess it was technically like it was the second or third episode we recorded. I think.
Yeah. First one published.
Which I don't know. The fact that that's the most popular, it's either a good or a bad thing. One, it is a good episode, so it makes sense.
Episode.
But two, it could also mean that people are listening to episode 1 and being like, "Nah, screw these guys, they suck. We're gonna go find another podcast."
That's a very good point. I think it's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah, depends on how you look at it, I guess. So you can check out episode 1 and see if you're going to be one of those guys that's going to listen to it and be like, "Nah, screw these guys," or maybe you enjoy it. So let us know. Episode 2, or second most downloaded podcast, as I just mentioned, is episode 18, Just a Lady with a Bow, with Miss Brittany Gaither on there. The third most downloaded is our first debut as a team on Fall Obsession Podcast.
This is news to me too, folks. I haven't heard this yet.
Episode 2, 31 deer in 3 days, where Nick and I recap our San Angelo staff hunt, where we had 10 guys in camp and we killed 31 deer and 7 turkeys in just over 3 days. That's a fun episode, and it's also the very first episode we ever recorded.
Yep.
So that's a good one to go back and listen to. And while we're talking about the first episode that we ever recorded, we got a little clip that we're going to share with you guys. We're going to cut into it here just a second.
Yeah.
Nick and his talented skills is going to edit it in.
I'm going to throw it in there.
Yeah, he's just going to throw it in the rundown. So this is a recording of the very first time we ever hit record on Fall Obsession Podcast. Take a listen.
I got the Adobe software that I'm editing all these on, so it's the same as a movie, just without the video part.
Oh, so, easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we will kick this thing off. There's a random dude standing right here.
Get out of here, bud.
Yeah,
We're trying to do a podcast.
Yeah,
I have those same pants, actually.
He's got a tag on his backpack. He's important.
That's true.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our second episode of Fall Obsessions Podcast. I am your guide today, Fall Obsession CEO Sam Thrash, and joining me today is our new media production manager, Mr. Nick Powell. Oh my gosh. I'm already messing up.
Podcasts are hard.
Podcasts are hard, man. I hate this. I don't like this anymore.
Let's not do it.
And we're back. Welcome back to Fall Obsession Podcast, everybody.
We missed you guys.
Yeah, we missed you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that little clip. Podcasting is hard.
So hard. It's tough.
Back to the rundown
on
Fall Obsession Podcast. We'll try to get through this so you guys aren't bored out of your minds listening to our voices. Fourth most downloaded episode. I'm just going to go top 5 for you guys.
Yeah.
Fourth most downloaded episode is episode 16. We've already mentioned it. Backcountry Bulls. Drew Tordick gives his rundown on elk hunting in Montana and in the backcountry. Very, very informative episode in all seriousness for you guys. So I encourage you to go listen to that.
Yeah, because we've talked about it before. Hunting elk is like in both of our top.
It's in our top 3 for both of us. Yeah.
So that was really informative for both of us as well.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about this podcast, man, is even though we host a majority of the episodes and you and I are on here more than anybody else, I learned so much just from having guests on our own podcast. I like, and I'll give some shout outs here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and hit number 5 so that we're done with this list.
Yeah.
But number 5, fifth most download, episode 10, Spring Turkey with Courtney, Miss Courtney Carroll from Florida. She's a guide for the Northwestern Turkey Federation. She joined us to talk some turkey hunting back in the spring. Very cool episode. Very, very cool person. Awesome episode if you're into turkey hunting and chasing birds in the spring. So
hey, it's National Wild Turkey Federation.
What did I say?
Northwestern Turkey Federation.
Oh my gosh, dude. So I am an experienced turkey hunter, guys. No, that's a joke.
We can do that again if you want.
No, leave it in there,
Leave it in there?
Yeah,
Okay.
leave it in there. Transparency.
Yeah.
I suck.
He's actually an excellent host.
I try to talk, like, acronyms are not my strong suit.
Me neither.
I try to say stuff really fast and I say the completely wrong thing.
Yeah, I would have gotten that one wrong too.
Yeah, so National Wild Turkey Federation.
There you go.
There we go. I got it. And I'll go ahead and give a shout out real quick too. This episode was in the top 5 for a while until some recent ones ascended farther. But episodes, 11, I believe? Episode 11, hog hunting, where you, Nick, myself, and the other Nick, Nick Latham.
We had Nick squared plus Sam.
Nick squared plus Sam. That was a good episode. Hog hunting, really fun episode to record. We had there, and there's some hilarious stories in that episode. So that's another good one. So, all right, you got something else. You're over there scrolling, and you got an expression on your face.
Well, man,
like I'm
just sitting here looking at all the podcasts, the whole list, and there's so many people that we've had on this podcast that it's been so cool to be able just to experience all the diversity that we've had. And like you said earlier, that's what's also cool about just Fall Obsession in general, is that we have field staffers and pro staffers all over the nation. And even because these guys send in pictures from their trail cams and just give us tips and articles and all kinds of cool stuff. And just not only with this podcast, but with all that stuff too, I've learned so much.
Oh yeah. So and I completely forgot, but I was gonna talk about that, about learning from our own guys. Some episodes that I learned a lot from were obviously Drew's episodes that we've recorded with him.
Yeah.
Very informative. And then I believe it's episode 15 with Rob and Nathan up in Canada.
Correct.
We got 2 field staffers up in Canada, Rob Redmond and Nathan Koenig, and we did an episode with them recapping their spring bear season. If you're a bear hunter, you got to listen to this podcast and their stories, because hunting up there, man, it's freaking crazy.
It's way different. It's a whole different ball game from hunting down here.
I was blown away by some of those stories. It's a really good episode,
Yeah.
and that's one that I learned a lot from myself, because I've never been bear hunting. I was literally the dumb, stupid host that was just asking questions, because I was legitimately trying to learn.
Yeah, same.
So that's another really, really good one. Last thing I'll say, and unless you got anything else, last thing I'll say about our podcast is, if you guys want to know about Fall Obsession, if you guys want to know where our company came from, how it has grown, what has changed over the years, and even how long we've been working on this thing called Fall Obsession.
Yeah.
Episode 5 is the first one kind of in that saga, if you will. Nick here sits down with me and basically starts getting the rundown on how Fall Obsession came about. How this all started and where it's gone. And then when we had Nick Squared here, when we had the other Nick with us.
Episode 12.
Coming up in the industry, we kind of dove a little bit more into that. We didn't really record episode 5 thinking we'd do a follow-up, but we did. And it worked out really good, because Nick gave his perspective, because Nick has been a part of this journey almost from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So, other Nick, not you, Nick.
Yeah,
other
Nick Latham.
Yeah, Nick Latham.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was a really, really cool kind of 2-part series. They're not even next to each other. They're random episodes.
Yeah.
But episode 5, all part of the dream, and then episode 12, coming up in the industry. Those are 2 episodes that you guys can listen to if you want to know where Fall Obsession came from.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else on podcasts, buddy?
No, I'm done with podcasts.
We've rambled on podcasts for a while, so we're going to get into some other stuff that we're doing at Fall Obsession that hopefully is interesting to you guys, that you guys might enjoy and get something out of. So
why don't you give them a rundown on Fall Obsessed Outdoors?
A rundown on Fall Obsessed Outdoors. Well,
Yeah.
I'll start with what it is, and then I'll talk about the name.
Excellent.
So Fall Obsessed Outdoors, we reference it as our flagship series. We have multiple different series on our YouTube channel and videos that we produce, but Fall Obsessed Outdoors is our hunting show. It is Fall Obsession's hunting show, and it's online. It's on YouTube and our website. You guys can go watch it today if you wanted to. There's 4 seasons on there. They're short seasons, but they're really cool episodes. And if you start at the beginning and go to the end, you can also see how the progression, how our quality of production of filming and editing has improved over the years as well. Mm-hmm. But Fall Obsessed Outdoors is, it is us hunting. It is a big accumulation basically of all of our hunts, and put into a show format. So chapter 1 or season 1, we call them chapters, but they're seasons. Chapter 1 is mainly hunting down here in Texas. We have a Menard hunt in there with our good friend Chester Barnes. He shoots 150-inch 9-point in episode 2 of that season, I think. And then season 2 is me and my dad hunting. Season 3 is Montana 2018. And then season 4 is Montana 2019 and San Angelo. So Fall Obsessed Outdoors on our YouTube channel and our website. It is the flagship series of Fall Obsession. It is our hunting show. You guys can check it out and give us some feedback. Let us know what you think, because we're here in just a couple months. We're going to be recording season 5, preparing for a spring release. So
Heck yeah.
looking forward to that for sure.
I'm super excited. This will actually be my first time editing the show, because you've edited all 4 chapters.
This is true. So Nick recently, just this last spring, became our media production manager. We got him all trained up on video editing and productions, and he has been freaking killing it ever since.
Just do my best.
You're just doing your best, man. I get it.
That's all I can
he's
do.
He's doing really good. So this will be a new experience for him, editing it as well as being part of the filming and production of it as well.
Yeah.
So you got a little
excited.
got a little taste of the filming in San Angelo. But,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, I gave the rundown on Fall Obsessed Outdoors. Why don't you give the rundown on our new series, Off Season?
Okay.
You've been editing all of those, so you're familiar with it.
Off Season is a new series, just to kind of give you guys some insight on what staffers in admin and pro staffers, field staffers, everybody does when they're not hunting. So I know a lot of us, or not a lot of us, but a few of us, hunt kind of throughout the year, which is nice because, different guys live in different areas. But a lot of us either hunt during the fall or hunt during the spring, unless we're hunting some sort of exotic
Yeah.
or, invasive species, something like that. But yeah, it's just a little series just to give you guys a taste of what we all do in the off season to, 1, prepare for hunting season, and 2, just what we do in our off time.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun to get to know a little deeper, a little more intimately what the guys do that are not close to here, that we never get to see in person.
Yeah.
So it's been really neat.
It's just a cool little insight into what guys do, like Nick said. And I would be remiss if I didn't give some credit for the idea to our friends over at the Outdoor Group, because Elite Archery had a series that they ran kind of over last winter and into the spring called Home Life, which is this very similar concept with some of their show hosts and more strong influencers for the Elite brand. I'm not going to say we stole the idea, but we kind of capitalized on it. And,
It's our spinoff.
It's our spinoff on it. We took advantage of the fact that we have over 30 guys at either a pro field or admin capacity that could all contribute. And not even all of our guys haven't even been on it yet. And we're probably at the time that we're releasing this podcast episode 3 is already out. And I know you told me last night you already have the content for episode 4.
Yeah, I think we have enough
and we're
content
already
for
gathering it for episode 5. So
Yeah.
it's taken off and gaining some traction. Guys are contributing, which is really awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Shout out to the guys as well.
Yeah, man.
For sending those in.
So, and that's a good segue into our pro and field staff, I feel like, because I'll give you guys a little insight on that. Again, we have this information is in episode 5 and episode 12 of our podcast, but our pro and field staffers are content contributors to our organization, and they do a majority of the online content that you see on our social media pages is from our pro and field staffers. It gives us more diversity. It allows you to see and learn about hunting in different areas, not just us who are local here in North Texas, but guys all across the country. We got guys in 14 different states in Canada right now, and I think that there's 32 of us on staff. So we are also currently accepting applications for field staff or our new brand ambassador program. So if you guys are interested in joining our team and becoming a part of Fall Obsession, go to fallobsession.com/staff opportunities, and all the information is on there, and you can apply straight from that webpage.
I think that'd be a good time to give them a rundown of what the brand ambassador side is all about, because that's fairly new.
The brand ambassador side is new. So what we are looking for through the brand ambassador program is to be able to partner with other individuals who have their own following within the outdoor industry, other individuals who would like to represent Fall Obsession, but maybe not with all it's entailed and required of being a pro or a field staffer, if you will. It's more of a partnership with an individual than it is them working for Fall Obsession as a contributor. So if you're a hunter and you post hunting content and you have your own following and you're looking for companies to partner with to help you progress along your journey and to do the same for us, then we encourage you to go check out our brand ambassador program, and all the information's on that webpage, and you guys can see if it's a good fit for you. So I get to this point every podcast, like it's like at that 20-something minute mark, I feel like I'm constantly out of breath.
Yes, I do the same thing. I'm like, come back.
Yeah, I keep telling myself, man, that I'm going to find somebody else to host. Like, I know you and I like swap back and forth just to try and break it up a little bit more, but I've been on every podcast episode, man.
I know.
So right there's a sneak peek for you guys too. If you're tired of me, you're probably going to be tired of the podcast because I'm in it a lot.
It's because you're so good at it.
I am
That's
not
why.
good at it, man.
Yeah,
I stumble through this thing every time. Look at me. I'm sitting here with a cup of coffee. You actually have your computer and notes, and I'm just sitting here babbling and running my mouth.
For the record, I don't have any notes.
You're just doing this to look cool.
Exactly. Rule number 1, look cool. Rule number 2, refer to rule number 1.
And rule number 3 is try to act like you know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
We purely wing this, guys.
Yeah. That's a true statement. Well, also on the website, we have many articles that the guys send in over literally tons of different topics.
Everything.
Yeah. And we also have gear reviews. If you guys are looking for some solid gear and you want to know, hey, I want to know what people think that have actually used this gear. I want to know what they think about it. Go check that out. That's on fallobsession.com/reviews. And there are a ton of reviews on there.
So we encourage our guys, all these pro and field staffers that we've talked about, and ourselves, we encourage everybody to review everything that you use. It doesn't, whether we're partnered with them in corporate sponsorship or not, we review everything we use, and we tell you if we like it or we don't. Now, the majority of stuff on there is stuff that we like and that we found effective for one reason or another. But there is some stuff on there that we're like, maybe use it for this, but probably not for this. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they're honest opinions on stuff that guys have actually spent their own money on, and bought and used in the field. And on that note, I'll also say that, and you guys can take this for what it's worth, coming from me, but our partners, the companies that we partner with, Elite Archery, Custom Bow Equipment, Vapple, Slick Trick, all those companies, we would not be partners with these companies if we did not use their products, test them out, and find them effective prior to agreeing to a sponsorship with them. And you guys can take that for what it's worth. You may just think I'm blowing hot air, but we really try to form honest opinions and produce honest, down-to-earth content of stuff, like I said, that guys have actually used and found effective, and that applies to our corporate partners as well. We're not going to use something and tell you to use something that doesn't work.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, so, and looking on our website, it's basically what I'm using for notes right now.
That's a good note.
Yeah, we have some fun things coming up, and we're actually right in the middle of one right now
Yeah.
with our virtual archery tournament. Why don't you give them a rundown on that, Sam?
So I'm glad you brought this up. I didn't even think about that until you just said that. That is very cool. So we are pioneering a new thing in the archery industry, guys.
Yeah.
This has never been done before, and Fall Obsession is doing it. Myself, Nick here, the other Nick, and Drew, we have worked very hard and been brainstorming a lot to come up with a concept for a virtual online archery tournament. And it's as you can imagine, it's a very complex, and a lot of thought and planning has to go into this. It's quite something. But in today's day and age, where all the tournaments and shoots, there are some going on, but they're often limited, and some local shoots, club shoots, or state tournaments may or may not have been closed down with COVID and everything like that. So we're trying to give people the opportunity to still shoot, still compete, and still win stuff, and you can do it from your local range or your backyard.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of convenient as well.
it is. So this is not live to the public yet at the time of us recording, but it will very soon be. Right now, actually this week or this upcoming weekend, we are doing a trial run with our very own staff. So and probably at the time that this podcast is coming out, it's already been done.
Yeah.
But we're doing a trial run with our very own staff to see how it works, to see if our system is in fact going to be effective, if we can actually track this and do this appropriately. We're utilizing Facebook and or Instagram Live to be able to kind of keep track of people that are competing, and we have that accountability factor being live right there. And there's a lot more that goes into it, but it's definitely an interesting concept. And I'm really hoping that we'll work out we've seen a couple of small issues with what's gone on so far with our own staff, but nothing that can't easily be corrected.
Yep.
So I fully expect that this virtual archery tournament thing is going to be live and open to the public so that you guys can come shoot. Our entry fees are going to be very low, very affordable, like $10 or $15 to enter in this tournament, and you're going to have the opportunity to win prizes from all sorts of different hunting or archery products. So it's we're hoping that we can do this tournament frequently, and that it's going to be something that you guys are going to enjoy and find effective. We hope it takes off. We hope that a lot of people get involved and enjoy it. So
one more thing that we have coming up is our 8th annual Kill Shot Photo Contest coming up in September. Give them a rundown on that, Sam.
All right, here's the rundown, guys. So we've been doing photo contests ever since before we even knew what we were at Fall Obsession, really. When we were just still when it was still kind of just a personal blog for me. I mean, we've been doing photo contests for like 9 years. So with the photo contest, we do a trail cam photo contest in the spring and then a kill shot photo contest in the fall. Again, an opportunity for you guys to show off your photos and to win cool prizes from us and or our sponsors. And I mean, we get a ton of entries, man. It's really cool to see all the photos come flooding in from folks to enter, to show off their pictures. And really, guys, just like showing off their kill, their trail cam photos, whatever it might be. So keep an eye out for that and follow us on social media so you get alerted when we launch that contest. When's the opening date right now, Nick?
September 12th.
September 12th. So September 12th, keep an eye out. We'll be starting to accept entries for that photo contest. You guys have a chance to win some cool stuff.
Yeah,
so.
And it was really cool to be a part of that podcast because I know that was part of how Fall Obsession started was the kill shot photo contest.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool to be a part of that podcast and hear, even from the very first one, there was a ton of people that put in entries.
There wasn't even a prize in the first one. It was just bragging rights for a blog that nobody had ever heard of before, and people still entered, man. I was blown away.
Yeah, which is awesome. Well, Sam, you have anything else you want to give a rundown over?
I got one more thing, man, that we haven't talked about. And
hit them with it.
Cure your obsession.
Oh, of course. How could I forget?
How could you forget, man?
It's right here in front of my face.
Yeah, it's right in front of your face.
Jeez.
Big blue letters right there. Come on, man. Get with the program, Nick.
I know. I'm trying.
Struggle bus over here.
Struggle bus. Toot toot.
All right, so the rundown on Cure Your Obsession. So we've partnered with our friends over at Elite Archery for a very special series where we are taking some guys on our staff who are brand new to archery, may not have even ever shot a bow before. We're putting an Elite Cure in their hands, and we're teaching them about everything archery. We're teaching them how to set up that bow, how to shoot, and we're going to take this series all the way into the fall where they're hopefully going to kill a deer this year. There may be some changes coming to our series in the near future, but there's a ton of useful information in this thing. We're going to keep it going and teach you guys about everything archery. Whether you're experienced or novice, we are breaking this down. We're breaking down every last detail of bow hunting and archery, basically, and how to shoot. So this series, I think we got 7 episodes of it out right now, and episode 8 should be coming out pretty quick. But it's a really informative series and perfect for both novice and experienced hunters who are wanting to get a little refresher. Archers as well, even if you're a competitive archer. It's useful information with that as well. And I'll give you guys a little heads up. I'm not going to say any more, but there's about to be a huge giveaway as a part of this series. And you guys are not going to want to miss it. It's one of the biggest giveaways we've ever done. And it's going to blow you away. And you're going to have the opportunity to walk home with something really cool.
Don't miss it.
That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to spill the beans.
Don't. Yeah, you got to keep them waiting. Keep the anticipation.
Keep the anticipation. You guys are loyal to us. You're loyal followers, but we love to keep you waiting. So
Exactly. Yeah, and even if you don't shoot an elite, if you have some other brand of bow, which you should be shooting an elite, if you don't,
not biased at all over here, guys.
if you don't shoot an elite, there's still a lot of useful information just on parts of the bow, tuning a bow, dialing in a bow, whatever.
Nick's going to be over here at Cinnamon Creek in the tech room here shortly, referencing episodes of Cure Your
That's
Obsession
exactly
to
right.
help set up his bow.
All right. Well, if you're ready to wrap up, I got some rapid fire questions for you.
For me,
For you.
rapid fire.
We have not heard your answers to the rapid fire questions yet. And since I'm hosting today,
man.
it is your turn, my friend.
All right, hit
All
me
right.
with them, man.
First one.
These rapid fire questions are brought to you by CBE Custom Bow Equipment.
Heck yeah.
Awesome archery accessories for the everyday bow hunter. Go check them out at custombowequipment.com.
I feel like they should hire you to do that in their
Maybe
commercials.
they should. Okay,
I
maybe
think so.
maybe
That
they
was
should.
excellent.
Man. And Rabbit Trail. Side note. So episode 20 with Drew that we just put out. I listened to that thing back after we published it, and I was like, man, I sound like a freaking therapist. I was so monotone, so calm the entire episode, and I was like, what is this, man? Where's my excitement? Where's my life? The liveliness in me coming out in this episode. And I figured it out. We recorded that episode at like 9 p.m. after I'd already recorded one with you over the phone.
That's right. Yep.
So
I remember that.
I was tired. I was ready to go to bed, but I was still trying to knock this thing out. So we had another episode in the bank, and a good one at that. So, and it resulted in me sounding like I was trying to, I don't know, be a therapist for Drew or something. I don't know. Sorry, Drew, if I
Drew's
made you
probably
feel
the last one who needs a therapist because that dude hunts all year.
he's got his own built-in therapy.
Right.
He's gone all, and in that episode,
So
guys,
lucky.
he talks about all the hunts that he's going on this year, all the tags that he has. The dude's gonna be freaking busy.
Yeah.
We're never gonna get a hold of him in the fall. We need to make sure that we got all his work done before.
That's a good point.
Before September.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that. Okay, rapid fire question number 1.
All right, hit me.
What is your favorite hunting memory?
My favorite hunting memory. I am going to say what everybody says whenever we ask them that question, and that is there's so many.
Yes.
And it's hard to pick because there's a lot of good ones. But
Literally everybody we've asked, I think, has said that. because
yeah,
it's
with
true.
that and the next question, everybody says that.
Yes.
So, but if I had to break it down, I'm gonna give you two things.
Okay.
Because they're same but not the same.
Same.
Same. So, the first one's kind of a summary, if you will,
Okay.
and that is hunting with my dad. I grew up. My dad got me into hunting when I was a little kid, and so I grew up as a kid, learned to hunt with my dad. But even as a kid, and then as a teenager, especially, I started hunting separately. Like, we still shared a camp, we still went together, but it came time to hunt. I go to my stand, he go to his.
Right.
So it was still cool getting to learn from him, and looking back on that now, I appreciate the little things so much more.
Mm-hmm.
You remember and appreciate the things that at the time you did not really think about. You look back on them as an adult, and you think about everything differently. So I have a much greater appreciation for hunting with my dad when I was a kid now than I did when I was a kid, if
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Part 2 of that summary is where it's brought us today.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, as a getting older kid, and then into a teenager, and into a young adult, I didn't hunt with him. We might go at the same time, but I didn't hunt with him. So I think it was 2016 or 2017, season 2, Fall Obsessed Outdoors, that I had that hunt with him down in Menard. And I wasn't hunting. I was just going with him to video. It was his hunt. We wanted him to kill a good buck.
Yeah.
And that was the first time in over a decade that I had actually sat in a deer stand for a hunt with my dad.
Really?
Yes.
That's
so
crazy.
that was absolutely awesome to be able to finally do that again.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't feel like I was missing anything until I was actually sitting in a stand with him again. I was like, holy crap, it's been forever since we did this.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool. And then fast forward to San Angelo last year on our staff hunt. My dad was out there with us freaking slaying them. He
Oh,
killed
yeah.
more deer than anybody
my
else
gosh.
out there. And just to see his excitement, to see his passion and his happiness for being out there and being able to hunt
it
like
was
that in
cool.
a target-rich environment and just lay down a bunch of does, that was awesome for me. And it was awesome that I could get to do that for him, because growing up, he's done so much for me over the years and helped me become a better hunter. And then me being able to give something back and give him the opportunity to go on a hunt like that was awesome.
Yeah.
So
Full circle.
hunting with my dad. That's
Got
the
it.
summary of
Yeah.
why that's a memory. And the second thing that I'm going to say about my favorite hunting memory, I can't ignore it. 2018 in Montana, my antelope kill. I know we want to do a specific podcast on 2018 in Montana, and so I'm not going to ruin it for you guys. I will summarize it in that it was, up till that time, it was the hardest hunt I'd ever been on, and I ended up shooting a Pope and Young pronghorn buck with
Freaking
my
stud.
bow, freaking stud, at 42 yards with my bow, my first ever pronghorn. So that's a summary. That's one of my. I will never forget that hunt as long as I live. But I'm not going to tell the story because it's going to be its own episode at some point. So I'm not going to ruin it.
Good call. Yeah, isn't it cool? Like, because I grew up hunting with my dad too, and like how whenever there's an opportunity to shoot something, they always let us have it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's so selfless, and like it was something that I always was thinking about. Like, whenever I have a kid, it'll be cool to have that. And now I completely get it, because we both have young sons.
Yep.
And so just thinking about him growing up and getting a little bit older, where he can hunt, and just letting him have the biggest deer ever or
Yeah,
whatever. It's
exactly.
going to be the coolest feeling.
Wyatt already he's got a little toy wooden gun, and he
Heck
already
yeah.
walks around the house with it, holding it up in the air, and he's like, boom, 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 boom.
That's so cool. He's already ready.
Yeah, he's ready to go, man. Just get a little bit stronger, a couple more years, be out there, be good to go.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. All right, number 2. What is your bucket list hunt?
Man, there's so many. I'll say it again, there's so
Yeah.
many. But
It's tough.
my top 3, because again, it can't just be one. It can't just be one.
Yeah.
Number 1 is an Alaskan caribou.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kill a caribou with my bow in Alaska.
That'd be
That
awesome.
is number 1 on my list. Number 2 and 3 are probably, I'll take either one, but I want to do them both.
Really a tie for second.
and this is all with my bow, because I'm a bow hunter, but I want to kill a stud mule deer with my bow, and I want to kill an elk with my bow. Kind of like you. I know I asked you these questions a few episodes ago. I don't care where, I don't care when.
Yep.
I just want the opportunity to do it. So, and
Nice.
pronghorn was on that list, still kind of is, because pronghorn hunting's freaking awesome.
Well, that's
but
got a check mark next to it,
I
though.
finally got the opportunity to kill one, and he's hanging on my wall, and I get the opportunity to kill another one.
Yeah.
Well, I already had the opportunity to kill another one.
True. We don't talk about that.
Yeah,
hunt.
we don't talk about that hunt. No, we actually do talk about that hunt.
We
It's episode
literally
1.
have talked about that hunt.
It's the most popular podcast episode on Fall Obsession
Yeah.
Podcast.
All right, number 3. So we don't really have a topic for.
The topic is the rundown, Nick.
That's true. But the rundown is a variety of different topics. So, what is a piece of advice for whatever piece of advice you want to give for anything?
Oh my gosh.
I'm opening it up.
Holy
way
crap,
wide.
dude. You can't give me anything.
Yeah, your biggest piece of advice.
You
You want to make it hunting advice?
Well, this is a hunting podcast.
All right.
I'd be kind of stupid if I
Well,
didn't.
fine. I'll close it down on you then. What's your biggest piece of hunting advice for
That didn't close it down on me at all.
new hunters, experienced hunters? What do you got for them?
I'll go with the new hunter portion of that, just for the sake of being able to narrow it down, since you gave me the whole world as my opportunity on that
You're
question. Never stop learning.
That's a good one.
Find a mentor and never stop learning. That's huge right there. There will be struggles along the way, whether it's finding a place to hunt, whether it's not having the right equipment, whether it's just unsuccessful seasons, unsuccessful trips. There will be struggles along the way, but never stop learning. Never, and this is applicable way more than hunting, but never stop.
Absolutely.
Never stop learning, and never think that you know everything, because you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am, 8 years into Fall Obsession, and been hunting my whole life, and I'm like with the podcast, I'm still learning. You know, there's all this stuff I haven't gotten to do. Whether I want to do it or not, never ever stop learning.
Yeah.
That's my biggest piece of advice is find everything you can to make you a better hunter. Find the resources, do the research, put the time in and the front end to make it easier on you in the back end and make it more successful for you.
Awesome. That's good stuff right there.
That's the best I can do with the question that you just threw at me.
I could have left it open for the whole world, and that would have been an excellent piece of life
like
advice.
I'm a firefighter. You don't want me to give firefighting advice on a podcast, so
Well, you could have.
I could have, but a lot of guys would be like, "Turn it off. I'm not going to listen to this. Not applicable to me."
Maybe one day.
All the firefighters would be like, "Oh heck yeah! What's he going to say?
Yeah.
Is this guy a turd or not?"
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that's all I got.
All right. Well,
Yeah, do you have anything else?
I think that made for a pretty good episode. So
Yeah, I think so.
we hit our time, and we found a way to ramble on for 40-something minutes. So
I'll take it. I'll take it. Well, guys, thank y'all for listening. Again, we appreciate all of our followers, all of our listeners.
thank you.
We couldn't do what we do without you guys. Go check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Check out our podcast. If you guys have any ideas or suggestions for a podcast, go to fallobsession.com/podcast. There's a little section at the bottom where you can put in suggestions down there.
Give us your rundown.
Yes, absolutely. And we might not know we might not know anything about the topic you're suggesting, but I guarantee you we can find somebody who does.
We will either find somebody who does, or we will ramble on to make it sound like we know.
You guys know that we are good at that. All right, guys, thanks for listening. We'll see y'all later.
Catch you later.